Today is October 16th, 2025, and this is Read Through the Bible.
And we have got some more guests today.
We do.
So welcome. Introduce yourselves.
Who are you?
I'm Bobby. I'm your wife, Silly.
I'm Bob, my wife Bobby.
Okay.
We're missionaries to Nepal and India.
And we go back a long ways. We're
Many,
talking about
many years.
our first trip to Nepal, I'm not sure, 16, 20 years ago?
Probably
No.
at least.
I think it's
Probably
close to 20.
20 years ago.
Probably 20 years ago.
20 years ago, something like that.
We've
And
been-
I just say, Bob is one of my missionary heroes. Just giving your life to Nepal and India and seeing the Lord work in great ways. So you just got back from a trip. Anything you want to share from that trip?
Just got back from a trip hosting a team from Illinois, about 6 people. And a very difficult trip travel because there was a little commotion in Nepal with revolt of the young people coming against the government and others joining in. And now we have a whole new government in Nepal. But through all of it, the Lord opened doors in both India and Nepal, and many people gave their lives to Jesus. So it's one of the most profitable mission trips ever against all the inconveniences of travel that we experienced. But
Praise God.
God was at work, and many came to Jesus.
Yeah, and so you went to Nepal initially how many years ago? Like
But 26 years on October 8th that Bobby and I landed in Kathmandu.
And you learned the language, and then you just started ministering to orphans and widows and showing love and care for them. Right?
We did. Actually, at first we weren't doing that. We were supposed to train pastors and have conferences and things like that. But as we were learning language, practicing it, we would just walk around the streets and see people that were suffering, people that needed medical care. So we just, our compassion was flowing. Of course, the Holy Spirit was doing it, but
Right.
That's how we started. And then after a couple of years, we thought, God's kind of moving us in a different direction.
Well, we saw the needs
Because-
of the people. We couldn't
Yeah.
turn our back on what we saw and how our hearts were speaking to us to not just say we'll pray for you and walk away, but to actually allow the Lord to allow us to be able to physically help with people's needs. And through their love, our ministry was born. And it continues with the wonderful staff we have in both
And has
countries.
grown
It
much.
has.
Grown much.
Yeah.
It's grown much over the years.
Yeah. Well, I have just seen you extend your mercies, people, and then you demonstrate what Christianity means. It means you're going to help the poor and the downcast, and those in the Hindu and Buddhist culture who are in it for themselves see a difference in people who are giving and giving of themselves. It just makes a dynamic difference in the Scripture. So I appreciate all your labor you've done for the many, many years. Okay, we are here to read the Bible, and to help you with that, we are reading 1 Samuel 21 and 22 today. Just stories about David fleeing from Saul. Okay, I'm going to start. Chapter 21, verse 1. Then David came to Nob to Ahimelech the priest, and Ahimelech came to meet David trembling and said to him, "Why are you alone and no one with you?" And David said to Ahimelech the priest, "The king has charged me with a matter and said to me, 'Let no one know anything of the matter about which I send you and with which I have charged you. I have made an appointment with the young men for such and such a place. Now then, what do you have on hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread or whatever's here.' And the priest answered David, 'I have no common bread on hand, but there is holy bread, if the young men have kept themselves from women.' And David answered the priest, 'Truly women have been kept from us, as always when I go on an expedition. The vessels of the young men are holy, even when it is an ordinary journey. How much more today will their vessels be holy?' So the priest gave him the holy bread." Gasp. "For there was no bread there, but the bread of the presence, which is removed from before the Lord to be replaced by hot bread on the day it's taken away." And Jesus refers to this. I think it's in Matthew chapter 12, probably, where he just speaks about God desires mercy, not sacrifice. Have you not heard that David, when he was hungry, the priest fed him? Now, it got him in trouble. We'll hear about that.
Okay. Verse 7. Now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained before the Lord. His name was Doeg the Edomite, the chief of Saul's herdsmen.
Then David said to Ahimelech, "Then have you not here a spear or a sword at hand? For I have brought neither my sword nor my weapons with me, because of the king's business required haste." And the priest said, "The sword of Goliath the Philistine, whom I struck down in the valley of Elah, behold, it is wrapped here in a cloth behind the ephod. If you will take that, take it, for there is none but that here." And David said, "There is none like that. Give it to me."
And David rose and fled that day from Saul and went to Achish, the king of Gath. And the servant of Achish said to him, "Is not this David the king of the land? Did they not sing to one another of him in dances? Saul has struck down his thousands, but David his 10,000s. And David took those words to heart, and was much afraid of Achish, the king of Gath. So he changed his behavior before them, and pretended to be insane in their hands, and made marks on the doors of the gate. And
This is my favorite part right here. Keep going.
Let his spittle run down his beard. Then
I remember I
Achish
preached this one time, and
Achish
I
said,
just
"Oh,
played
really?"
that. I was preaching this from Psalm 34
dribbling
one
down his
time,
beard.
and I just kind of showed what that may have
That's
looked
kind of
like.
exciting.
Yeah.
Then Achish said to his servants, "Behold, you see the man is mad. Why then have you brought him to me? Do I lack madmen that you have brought this fellow to behave as a madman in my presence? Shall this fellow come into my house?"
So here we see, summary-wise, we see just David fleeing Saul and coming and getting the bread from Ahimelech, and then standing before King Achish and just
Acting crazy.
acting crazy. And this, by the way, is the superscription to Psalm 34
And 52.
and 52.
I think it's actually 52, but I think Psalm 34 references it as well.
Okay, so both those Psalms talk about this event.
And so does
What's going
Jesus in Matthew 12.
Yeah, so it's a common chapter referred to in the New Testament. So if you know the story well, it will help you read the New Testament.
Yeah.
Okay, here we come. Chapter 22, verse 1. David departed from there and escaped to the cave of Adullam. And when his brothers and all his fathers heard it, they went down there to him, and everyone who was in distress, and everyone who was in debt, and everyone who was bitter in soul gathered to him. And he became captain over them, and there were with him about 400 men.
And David went from there to Mizpah of Moab. And he said to the king of Moab, "Please, let my father and my mother stay with you till I know what God will do for me." And he left them with the king of Moab, I guess to try to protect them. And they stayed with him all the time that David was in the stronghold. Then the prophet Gad said to David, "Do not remain in the stronghold. Depart and go into the land of Judah." So David departed and went into the forest of Hereth.
And that was a prophet sent to just help David to get on the run, because we're going to see Saul coming and searching for him and killing the priests.
Because of the spy, Doeg,
Yes,
who
the Edomite.
leaked the information.
Right, the rat.
Yeah.
This would make a great movie.
I know it would, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now Saul heard that David was discovered, and the men who were with him. Saul was sitting at Gilgal under the tamarisk, at the servants were standing about him. And Saul said to his servants who stood about him, "Hear now, people of Benjamin, will the son of Jesse give every one of you fields and vineyards? Will he make you all commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds? That all of you have conspired against me. No one discloses to me when the son makes the covenant with the son of Jesse. None of you is sorry for me or discloses to me that my son has stirred up my servants against me to lie in wait."
Wow, he's sure giving them a pity party.
Yeah.
Guilt trip.
Yep.
As at this day, then Doeg the Edomite, who stood by the servants of Saul, "I saw the son of Jesse coming to Nob, to Abimelech, the son of Ahitub." What a name.
Yeah.
And he inquired of the Lord for him, and gave him provisions, and gave him the sword of Goliath the Philistine.
Here he's in dire straits.
Yeah.
He just needs
He
some
needs a
sort of
weapon.
sword, some sort of weapon. Yeah.
Then the king sent to summon Ahimelech, the priest, and son of Ahurab, and all his father's house, the priests who were at Nob, and all of them came to the king. And Saul said, "Hear now, son of Ahitub." And he answered, "Here I am, my lord." And Saul said to him, "Why have you conspired against me? you and the son of Jesse, and that you have given him bread and a sword, and have inquired of God for him, so that he has risen against me, to lie in wait, as at this day. Then Ahimelech answered the king, And who among all of your servants is so faithful as David? Who is the king's son-in-law, and captain over your bodyguard, and honored in your house? Is today the first time that I have inquired of God for him? No, let not the king impute anything to his servant, or to all the house of my father, for your servant has known nothing of all this, much or little. And the king said, You shall surely die, Ahimelech, you and all your father's house.
Wow.
And the king said to the guard who stood about him, Turn and kill the priests of the Lord, because their hand also was with David, and they knew that he fled and did not disclose it to me. But the servants of the king would not put their hand to strike the priests of the Lord. Then the king said to Doeg, You turn and strike the priests. And Doeg the Edomite turned and struck down the priests, and killed on that day 85 persons who wore the linen ephod.
Okay, so you got to catch it here. When Doeg the Edomite's killing his 85 person, he's not shooting them.
No.
Like I saw a video, of these people from Hamas, right, just shooting the guys in the back. I didn't see the actual, but I just saw them all lined up. This is him taking a sword and lopping off their heads. I mean, this is a bloody scene.
And these are priests.
Yeah,
He's got no fear.
Speaks of the savagery of what's happening here in the Old
Yeah.
Testament with Doeg. That's what David's running from. David's running from this
Yeah.
guy who's ready and willing to kill 85 people.
Yeah.
And Nob, the city of the priests, he put to the sword both men and women, child and infant, ox, donkey, and sheep, he put to the sword.
Wow, so even more than those 85 people.
Right.
But one of his sons of Ahimelech, the son of Ahitub, named Abiathar, escaped and fled after David. And Abiathar told David that Saul had killed the priests of the Lord. And David said to Abiathar, I knew on that day when Doeg the Edomite was there that he would surely tell Saul, I have occasioned the death of all the persons of your father's house. Stay with me. Do not be afraid, for he who seeks my life seeks your life. With me you shall be in safekeeping.
Wow.
Yeah. So here's a story of just David fleeing and Doeg the Edomite killing 85 priests at Nob. And these are the same guys who gave David the bread of the presence.
Yeah.
Yep. Seeking refuge. And you know what? You've seen that a little bit, political turmoil in Nepal. And even there's some political turmoil in this day.
Right.
Not sure if there's been any deaths over there. Like the uprising took
there
about a
were.
month ago, right?
Yeah. Several students were killed, were
Yeah.
shot
Yeah.
during demonstrations.
Yeah, and that's sort of what it is. Like, it's a time of political unrest, as Saul is very jealous of David.
Right.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us, Bob
Yes.
and Bobby.
Thank you,
It's
Bob
been
and
a great
Bobby.
time. And
Thanks for having us.
Yvonne and I, we will see you tomorrow.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
All right, good. Bye-bye,
Bye.
everybody.